we gon' run it. Hit the field, blast off, watch them all fall. This is AFC North Talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock 'em out. Hey, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North Talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North Talk.
Welcome to another edition of AFC North Talk. Me and Ace flying solo. The guys couldn't make it today. Shout out to them. Hopefully everything is okay. Anyway, we're here. Big bombshell today. Not necessarily AFC North related, but there's a quasi to it. The reason why is there's two teams. The Ravens need a receiver. They could have used Stefon Diggs. Obviously, the Steelers. I think it was you, Ace, to send the current ranking of the Steelers receiving room. Was it one of the worst?
It was a tweet that I found.
Yeah, a tweet. Yeah, a tweet. That's what it was. So, and then
I did send the tweet though. I did send it in.
The crazy thing is, compensation wise, draft pick wise, it wasn't horrible. I mean, it was a second, and you got a fifth and a sixth, and a Stefon Diggs, right? Like it wasn't like the Buffalo Bills broke the bank on picks. The question here, which is the question that I have, is: are the Texans going to pay Diggs? Because if they have to pay Diggs, obviously that's another layer, right? Then you understand why the Steelers didn't go for it, because the Steelers cap room is kind of tight. The Ravens cap room is kind of tight, right? Like that is a different scenario. So first of all, I want to hear your take on what do you thought about this trade?
Yeah, I mean, for the Texans, it makes perfect sense. This is a situation. So I did read earlier that I believe the Bills are on the hook for $31 million in dead cap in Stefon Diggs' deal. So they're going to pay that, and the Texans are essentially going to pay the rest of it. Like, to me, it's a great deal for the Texans. Number one, they get an ex-receiver that they can really depend on in Stefon Diggs. You're getting a veteran leader that's coming in. And this was a Texans team that was very young, and I think that C.J. Stroud had weapons, but they weren't marquee names, right? Like, look at what they had, the Noah Browns, the Nico Collins. Yes, they're young. The Tank Dells, yes, they're young and talented, but they're not anybody that if you were matching up with them on a weekly basis, you're like, oh, my God, we've got the double Tank Dell. We've got the double Nico Collins, and that's not a shot at them, but they literally didn't really do much until C.J. Stroud got there. Before C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins was getting like 400 yards receiving a year. He wasn't a marquee name. So for them to get somebody like Stefon Diggs after an offseason that they've been aggressive, this team is clearly realizing like, hey, we are in a window right now with C.J. Stroud. Let's surround him with as much talent as we can while he's on this rookie deal. Not only did they do it offensively, you look at Dalton Schultz, you look at Stefon Diggs over there, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, as well as Nico Collins. They also went out and got Joe Mixon from the Bengals, so they improved their running back.
That's true. I forgot about that.
They've got a good offensive line. On defense, they went and got Daniil Hunter, who some people thought should have been Defensive Player of the Year. They went and got him. They went and got Danico Autry. So this is a team that's really going for it, and they're going to take the gamble on a Stefon Diggs. And, I mean, rightfully so. Like, when you look at it right now, if they were to go into the draft, would they be able to get a Stefon Diggs type level player where they were drafting? More than likely not. Like, they're not going to get a Stefon Diggs, like, especially if you're not picking within the top five, if you're not getting a Malik Neighbors, a Romeo Odunes, like, you're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., you're not going to get anybody that's Stefon Diggs. So for them to be able to steal Stefon Diggs, not only onto their team, but from another rival in your conference, like, that's like a double win, in my opinion, for them, because it weakens the Bills. He gets added to your team to join that wide receiver room that has weapons. And now you have a team that's ready to compete in the AFC. And we already know at the top of the AFC, you've got to go with the Chiefs. I'd say that the Ravens are up there. I say that the Bengals are up there. You definitely have to say that the Texans are up there in terms of being a threat. So, one of the things that I thought against the Ravens that they kind of ran into is they didn't have enough weapons. Now, when they're going against teams like the Chiefs, the Bengals, and some of these other teams, they have the arms to at least try to keep up. Especially like you got to also remember they lost Tank Dell last season. So
At
if
the
Tank
end, yep.
isn't a durable receiver, you now have other options with adding that depth. So for them, I think it was a slam dunk. And I always felt like the writing was on the wall with Diggs, right? I was actually surprised Diggs wasn't traded last offseason. I feel like the Bengals kind of broke him because when he was arguing with Josh Allen on the sideline during that divisional round, I'm like, this is getting bad. So, it's not a surprise that he moves on. And I think whenever a team has to pay a guy like Josh Allen and you pay the quarterback, the bill comes due. And, they paid Stefon Diggs and they were able to do that for a while based off of Josh Allen's rookie contract. But now that the bill is due and now that you paid Von Miller a crazy
that's the crazy one.
And what can you really do? So I think it was a good move for the Texans. I think for the Bills, it's a bad move. Like if I were to give a grade, I would give the Texans an A on this. I would give the Bills an F because you're not really getting much for them this season. Like it's cool to get the second round pick.
But the second round pick is not even this year. You know that, right? It's next year.
F may be too harsh. I'll give them a C because at least they got a second round pick, even though it's next year. But the reason that I almost wanted to give them an F is you're paying this guy $31 million of that dead cap for him to play somewhere else. Like that's
crazy.
That's just bad. That's just bad. And to me, it seems like the Bills are in a rebuild. I don't know if people like to toss around the retool and this and that. Like who is there from that team other than Deion Dawkins and like maybe somebody else? Like it's a rebuild to me.
Yeah, because Gabe Davis left this year too. Remember,
bro, Curtis Samuel is wide receiver 1. Curtis Samuel. They went from losing. They lost Gabe Davis. They also lost Stefon Diggs. Like their wide receiver 1 is actually the tight end.
The tight end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Peter. I didn't think I thought I was being a little hard. It's an F for me, bro. Like it's not a good move for the Bills at all. It's not a good look. And honestly, I don't feel like they really had a choice because once the situation turned toxic, he couldn't continue to be in the locker room. And they missed their window, bro. In my opinion, they missed their window. And this was once a team that challenged the Chiefs. A lot of people thought could get to the Super Bowl, and they just haven't been able to do it. So they've got to go about it a different way. Obviously, they have the quarterback, but now they're going to have to get those other pieces together. What about you?
Yeah, so and the reality is we don't know here on the other side where the train of thought is, because if you think about their division, if we then zoom into their division, Patriots are gonna be non-consequential for this year. The Dolphins are still gonna be good, can be fraud, because that's the problem with the Dolphins. They can kind of fraudulent. But if Aaron Rodgers is back, think about the Jets, how much they have added to all the other positions minus Rodgers. I wonder if the Bills are looking at the situation like, man, I don't know how we can compete. Then the Stefon Diggs situation, like you said, it's kind of toxic. I never understood what happened there because they seem to be boys one day and then they seem to not having a click, right? Like they went from 0 to 100 like that. Like it wasn't like sometimes things are gradual. Nah, the Stefon Diggs thing just went like this.
Well, they were beefing for like a whole year, right?
Yeah, no, not this year.
Was like telling us, like the whole offseason, like something after what that last 22 season. That's the last season where there wasn't really anything. But even then, you were hearing stuff about, I don't think they actually get along. I think what was that playoff game where
Bengals, right?
Everybody gave Josh Allen that credit for losing. What game was that?
I thought it was the Bengals.
Talking about the Chiefs game where they went into overtime. Yep.
Yeah, I think there was a clear split there. And I don't know if this was both parties, but I feel like what went down was Stefon Diggs felt like he was more a part of that process than he was getting credit for.
Well,
and maybe
weird.
Josh wasn't doing stuff to make sure that wasn't the perception. Like that he wasn't okay with that perception, So success can be your biggest failure at times, man. And I think that's kind of what went down was that Stefon, like, years of like feeling like I'm underappreciated and you living in Buffalo. Like, let's also you got to factor that one in. Don't nobody want to live in Buffalo. Like, it's tough. They don't. And here's the thing when we talk about cities athletes don't want to live in. I think people don't understand this. It's not necessarily as much about the location as much as about what you have access to.
Yeah, I agree.
Buffalo does not have like a international airport, which means it's hard to get in and out of Buffalo, right? That's why the same thing with Salt Lake. Why people don't want to, because you can't get in or out of Salt Lake easily. All them cities that like Cleveland, nobody wants to play in Cleveland, but they play here. Why? They got international air. You get in and out easy, right? Same thing with Cincinnati. You got an international airport within 20. Like that stuff don't matter. But if you don't got an international airport, dog, people don't want to be there that long. That's just kind of what it is, unless they like it there. And I don't think Stefon was messing with it. It's funny because his career went from LSU to Minnesota.
No, Maryland. He played for Maryland.
Well, yeah, my bad. I'm thinking about Justin Jefferson, but yeah, Maryland. He's used to the city. Get something Minnesota. Okay, it's cold, but I still got an airport. Then they took him to Minnesota with no airport. I bet he couldn't wait to go. Okay, like.
So for me, the interesting part, there's two things that for me of the whole situation is interesting. If we talk about Buffalo itself, is Buffalo right now, how's Josh Allen reacting? Meaning not reacting about the news. There's a clear play. I know Hugh likes to talk about Roquan. It could be a coincidence, but when Roquan came here, you can see the shift of the defense, right? Same thing in Josh Allen's career. As soon as Stefon Diggs shows up, he took a big step up in how he was playing, right? So that I'm very curious to see how he will play now with no Stefon Diggs, right? That is very curious. The second thing,
you know who else was there when he was getting better, right? Somebody who got Cam Newton to his best, Ken Dorsey. He's no longer there either.
That is true. A lot of people attribute it to Ken Dorsey being there, right?
But they got Joe Brady, right? The Joe Burrow fixer, right? Because Joe Burrow's been trash without Joe Brady, Look what he did with Bryce Young. He's a true genius.
They had Dayball too. They had Dayball as well.
They had Dayball for a while.
Doing with Daniel Jones, got him $46 million for no reason. Like
for no reason.
Come be my agent, Brian.
So for me, the other question here is: are they gonna make a play? The only thing that can save Buffalo right now, because I don't know how good Josh Allen will be without a receiver, right? We see him without a receiver, and he was a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Without a good receiver, right? The top receiver in the league, Stefon Diggs was for a couple of years there. He was a great quarterback, right? Now, the question here is, are they going to be in play now for T, right? In the case of the Bengals, because we don't know that situation. Or, even bigger, are they going to try to get the guy that replaced Diggs on Justin Jefferson? Are they going to give a bunch of first rounds to Justin Jefferson, right? Is that the move? I'm not sure.
Higgins market just opened up.
Yeah, well, that's the question here. Now, the other thing that we have seen is every player.
Thing, though, Sonny, is they got to pay him $30 million.
They will have to pay whoever. Well, they can make the cap small for the first year, and then
you are paying somebody to live in Buffalo. You got to pay 32.
A premium, the Buffalo premium.
I want to live like I was living if I wasn't paying no taxes in Florida, right? Like,
well, not only that, because they're getting the new stadium, but that stadium ain't gonna be a dome.
Sonny was talking about this tweet that I shared earlier in the AFC North Talk chat. In this tweet, in said tweet, it said that the Steelers have a bottom 5 wide receiver room. I would argue that the Buffalo Bills.
For sure. Now
worst. At least George Pickens is in that other locker room, okay?
Yeah, because they're not counting the tight end.
Hell, at least Buffalo got Zay Flowers. I mean, at least Baltimore got Zay Flowers.
Right.
Like
Curtis.
That's the number one.
Shakir, and I don't even know who their third receiver is.
I have no idea either.
Hey, dog, Curtis Samuel wasn't even the number one at Ohio State.
He wasn't the number one in neither the Panthers or the Commanders.
Was it Michael Thomas? Was that Michael Thomas during that time?
Yeah.
And Devin Brown was like
it's not looking good.
Shorter.
Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is.
Starting right now.
Justin Shorter.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Your boy, Sonny, Andy Isabella. He's over there.
Woo!
Fan favorite.
Andy. It is a fan favorite, that's for sure. That's true. Look, we'll see what Buffalo does. If they go to the draft for the rookie, well, they're putting a lot of weight to the rookies. Now, the other thing I was gonna say is the trade market. I was talking to somebody about the trade market for players with expiring contracts, right? Or people that you have to pay. And again, with Diggs, we don't know. The only thing with Diggs is on 31, 32 years old. But the trade market, if we go watch what Snead got traded, right? Burns got traded, and all these other players, they are top tier, right? Snead is a top tier corner, top tier edge rusher. But because they have to pay them the compensation. I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised at the compensation for Stefon Diggs because I was like, man, why would the Steelers not do this again unless they had to pay them? Even the Ravens, why would the Ravens not go in? I don't think Stefon Diggs is the type of receiver that the Ravens need because I think the Ravens need more of a bigger receiver. I mentioned this before, right? I don't want to agree, but in the case of the Steelers, I think Stefon Diggs complements well to what they have, right? And a second round pick, and especially if they're eating most of the cap hit. Why are you not doing that? It will be interesting if Stefon Diggs gets paid. I'm sure he's happier. He's a good quarterback going to Houston. He's loving life right now.
No state taxes.
No state tax. That's right. No state taxes. And warmer, Q.
In a dome.
In a dome.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to blame that heat either.
Here's the thing. CJ Stroud spread that ball out, though.
Yeah. Sure.
He gonna get real tired of that. Like people were like, he should go to Pittsburgh. I'm like, you out here with George Pickens in the same huddle.
Well,
you would never get the play call in.
The question with Pittsburgh still is, can George Pickens be? And if Pickens is listening to this, right, it is what it is. Can you be an adult, right? Can you move to adulthood and just be a team player?
I think the biggest question with George Pickens is like, hey man, you gonna get that route tree going? Like
think
that's the bigger question, right? Because like he can run 9s and 7s real well, but like he can't run no 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s. Like he can't. So I think that's the bigger question with George Pickens, like than anything else. Because like if he is a little bit of an issue, right? If he has a bit of an attitude, I promise you, if he's capable of getting 1,400. They'll find a way. Okay, I bet Jamar Chase got all kind of problems behind the scenes the Bengals don't care about. Like when you produce at that high of a level, everybody has a way of just letting stuff slide, right? But it's about, can he be that kind of wide receiver? And I think he can, but it's he's been kind of focused on kind of the silly shit so far in his career.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. The only difference between Pickens and any other receivers that might have shit right now is everybody else are keeping it under the rug. And Pickens, it's almost like he makes an effort to make sure.
Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of like people forget this. We felt the same way about Marshawn Lynch that like people feel about George Pickens.
True.
It wasn't until like you got 8 years into Marshawn Lynch's career where you were like, hey dog, that's just kind of how he is. So I think George Pickens is playing the long game. Look, let everybody know your flaws now so they won't care when
but Marshawn Lynch was highly productive. Pickens, he's not there yet.
Well, not at the beginning of his career. Marshawn wasn't.
No, true.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's about production, right? Like you can get away with being a little bit more quirky, and I think that's what George Pickens is more than destructive. I think the brother's just quirky, like in a weird way. Like he's just kind of quirky. Like he likes to fight in camp. It's a little odd. But I mean, if you've been around a football locker room, that's not the most odd guy there.
Are you gonna go to the spring practices or not to training camp? Because I
might go.
I would love to see that Steelers camp this year when Russell Wilson's there trying to break the huddle. And the one thing of the Steelers too is if Russell Wilson's struggling and Fields in practice is looking good, who's the first one making noise? George Pickens.
Here's the thing we ain't talking about. We always assuming that one of these dudes gonna look good. So what's that environment gonna be like? What is gonna be like if both of them look terrible? That's as much as a possibility as one of them looking good. I could argue, based on the last couple of years, more of a possibility, right? Like, what happens then when both of your hopes don't look so hopeful?
Yeah.
You can't trust them either, man. Because remember last year, Kenny Pickett was a preseason superstar. Wrong bet. Be a star, and I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. What the one guy tweet? It's Pickett and Mahomes, and that's it.
Man, that's a take. Okay, we have here super chat. This is a bait, but I'll have to read it. What's Quincy's take on PQ getting paid by the Steelers?
Oh yeah, I like that. That's a good move. I think Patrick Queen is a really good, productive player. Now, I think he is more of a edge, like not like an edge, but he's more of somebody who has that versatility. He shows some ability in coverage, but that's where you worry about not having Roquan anymore, right? Is the coverage stuff where it's like, okay, now he's going to be responsible for more stuff. Now, instead of just like taking the low man on a mesh, right, and his read being very simple, he's the guy getting paid in that room. So he's going to be asked to kind of do the processing of like, hey, they're going to meet at this point. Which side you going to take? Are you going to take the leverage? Are you going to lean? Are you going to break? Like, those are the kind of decisions that early in Pat Queen's career he struggled with. But if they can keep it simple and maybe let Minka take some of that load, then I think that you have a very productive player there. The question for the Steelers, and every year for the Steelers defense has been, no matter how many times Steelers fans tell me I'm wrong, I'm always right about this. What conversation are we having about Minka Fitzpatrick at the beginning, middle, and end of the season? Because when I know Pittsburgh's defense isn't going to be hitting on all cylinders, whenever somebody comes onto this show and talks about, I don't know why Minka's playing there, I don't know why they're not using Minka this way, right? Because when they have the personnel to put Minka in the right spot to be successful, they're going to be a really damn good defense. When they have to put Minka in the slot, right, because they got Pat Peterson holding down the other corner, they're going to be a compromised version of that defense. So it's about, can they fill those holes? And that's going to be the answer for Pittsburgh. And if they can do that, Pat Queen's going to be a nice little accent for them, because their linebackers have been complete ass the last couple of years. And Pat Queen is much better than that. Like,
for sure. Yeah. For me, the whole thing with Patrick Queen is, was he able to learn the past 2 years with Roquan how to play that position, especially if they're going to make him the Mike, right? Because, he needed to slow down a little bit. I think he was too fast sometimes and taking the wrong decision.
Nobody can teach you to slow down like Roquan Smith.
That's not true. It's to process the thing. Anyway, I said I was gonna take this bait.
Hey, Roquan Smith, the king, will be 5 yards away. Hey, good tackle.
Roquan just let Patrick Queen.
Let me get a piece of that.
Roquan just let Patrick Queen take the easy route and blitz.
Good job, Kyle. Let me get half.
Okay, let me not take this bait.
Hey, Roquan Smith, the brunt man of linebacker.
I'm not taking the bait.
You're having a lot of assisted tackles, man.
Hey, Kyle Hamilton be getting a sack, and then here come Brumman. Hey, what's up, Martin?
Not taking the bait.
Just out here eating a sandwich and shit, asking for half. What?
Not taking the bait. Okay, so
I'm gonna start calling him Brumman. I'm glad we walked into that one.
Okay. Shout out to our top tiers, Patreon, Adam Holland, Duncan Sula, Luis Cousin, Leo Sub, Ray Rack, Wesley World, Christian Rob, thank you for being top tier. And here we are. We're going to do another mock. We are a couple weeks away. We'll be here. It's been fun. I think there's a meme every year coming out of this draft. We never want to be the meme, but you never know who's going to be the meme. So,
can't beat a meme if you don't got a first round pick, baby.
Q is safe. That's true.
I was the meme last year when they took Siaki Iko on my stream. So
I was in your stream.
I'm gonna let you know. it feel like it's your turn, bro.
I remember the Odafe Oweh.
You like on the board, maybe Brock Bowers there, and they gonna draft.
We need to make another steak dinner bet, man. Because last time we got Jamar Chase, we need to do it.
No, okay, not gonna get Brock Bowers or some shit. Okay, no, I need y'all to leave out here with the drafts number 5 ranked defensive end.
Reach a 3rd round great guy. Pick up pick 18.
Hey, you guys drafted Jalen Green. Wow. Okay.
I remember Q when I it was day 2, and you guys just drafted your boy. I'm blanking the guy from Oklahoma, D lineman.
Oh, you talking about Perrion?
Perrion, right? So I'm joining your live stream, and then the punter the kicker gets drafted, and you're like, oh, well, doesn't matter. We have Perrion.
They woke me up because it was like what the draft was like. The dude's day 3, and it was like at 11 o'clock, and then people were like, the Browns got Perrion. Somebody tell Quincy. And then I found out. I immediately, do-rag and all, went on stream and celebrated the Browns getting Perrion Winfrey just for K York to get drafted.
Yeah, because it was fairly quick after the Perrion.
Look, man, the 4th round has not been a winner for me. Second round, hey, hitting big in that second round.
That second round is the Browns per round.
Sure. Yeah, Grant Delpit, JOK. We do good in that second round.
Yeah, for sure.
4th round, little bit more forgettable, but hey, that's how it goes.
So here we have, it's gonna be, we'll collect. If we have Steelers fan, make sure you let us know who you want to draft when it gets to it. 3 rounds, mock draft.
He's going
to draft Spencer Rattler in the 1st round for Pittsburgh, right? That's what we want, chat. Spencer Rattler, Bo Nix. Do
you think they draft a quarterback?
Huh?
Do they draft a quarterback if one of those Bo Nix?
I think it's possible.
Dude, I don't know what Pittsburgh's going to do because I didn't think they would go after Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So, hey, man, they might just be scrambling. They might. Nothing they've done has made sense. So why would this make sense, right?
Fair enough. Okay, let's start this thing here. Okay. Ace, you're looking for O lineman?
We're gonna see here, man, because some people went off of the board here. Ooh. All right, we're gonna reject that.
Hey, dog, Byron Murphy.
Reject that. Okay, so at this point we got Latu, we got Jared Verse, Mims. Mims is actually on a visit right now in Cincinnati.
He might be it. He might be the guy.
You want to talk about?
Hey, Mims, man. I do not like Mims.
So that's the meme pick, Arterius Mims.
That's the meme.
Who has to be on the board
down a little bit, Sonny?
Ooh, man. Hey, Ace, if Quinyon Mitchell makes it all the way to 15, y'all not going to trade up for that?
They might. I don't know if they would trade up for him. No, they probably wouldn't trade up. The Bengals never trade up in the 1st round. They'll trade up in the 2nd round.
That is definitely the best corner in this draft.
I don't think that they would for him. All right. Let me just do what I think the Bengals would do in this situation, and I'm going to take Amarius Mims. I'll take Amarius Mims. I think that in this situation they would. I think it's between him and Byron Murphy.
Dog, how?
How what? How is these two?
No, I mean, if I got Amarius Mims and Byron Murphy in front of me.
Oh, you would take take Murphy?
Yes.
Yeah, I would, to be honest, I would take Murphy, but I know that the fans have been upset with my last couple of picks because I just picked who I wanted. But I honestly do think, especially with him being in Cincinnati, Byron Murphy hasn't visited Cincinnati yet. So I don't know the exact interest. I would assume that they are, but he's a little under the thresholds and what they kind of look for in certain areas.
Man, Kingsley Samatatia being that high in the 2nd round is nuts. I mean,
Who?
the first round is nuts. Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley that high is kind of crazy.
That is. I thought he would be there at 50.
That's why I took Amarius Mims, dog. It got kind of thin.
Yeah, I like Morgan. I like Guyton.
You guys should take a quarterback here.
Yeah, we take a quarterback in the first round. I'm definitely the
me
forever.
Tyler Huntley, you know.
We're taking a quarterback this year. Definitely, I believe. Where I think we take it in the 5th or later.
Here's one thing I know the Ravens ain't gonna do. They ain't gonna have the balls to take Keon Coleman at 30. Nah. Who's shorter is Xavier Worthy? Yes. That's who they gonna take.
No. I like King Coleman.
Huh?
I love Coleman.
Yeah, they don't ever draft none of the wide receivers you like. You like Michael Pittman. You like AJ Brown. They went for the shorter, faster guy every time. You know it's
we need a compliment big guy. But to be honest, you know where I'm going with this pick. I do think the Ravens look. I love a lot of wide receivers in this draft. Coleman is one of my favorites. I heard that he didn't do well in the combine, which is great. Made him a 2nd rounder. I don't care. But the Ravens, somebody earlier said the Ravens have to replace 3/5 of the O-line, which is true. I do believe the guards are in-house. I'm not there yet to roll with Falele. That's not me. I'm hoping they take the tackle and they can just say, okay, this year we're gonna take a tackle, and next year we might have to take another tackle to replace Stanley.
Wait, who did the Patriots take at the top of this draft? Because they just took Bo Nix.
They took Marvin Harrison Jr. I saw that. I was like, wow.
Hey man, park a Maserati in front of a trailer park.
Now I've been hearing the Napier being the top receiver pick and not Harrison anymore.
Oh man, this is tempting. How is Graham Barton still there? That's a first round talent, possibly.
31st.
I was gonna say, Sonny, I think you guys are gonna take Joe Milton later in this draft. I think that's the quarterback that I could see him being in Baltimore for some reason.
There's a couple guys.
Let me see receiver. This is where it gets interesting, dog.
Pearson.
Interesting. All right. Let me see tight end. Okay. Damn, we got options. All right. Defensive tackle.
Okay, he's a good run stopper.
All right. Go back to the offense. Go to receiver, and give me Xavier Leggett.
I hate that for y'all.
Let me get that.
I like Xavier Leggett.
I like him too.
Is it Leggett or is it Leggett?
Leggett. I think it's Leggett. Yeah.
Who's that quarterback for Pittsburgh?
Damn, that's who else. I was gonna take Barton, but I wasn't gonna go.
Oh yeah, Spencer Rattler. Come on, that's a steal.
The Steelers.
Here we go, nation, right? Like, yeah, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I think our corner.
They need a receiver pretty bad, dog. I don't know.
Corley?
Corner. They do need a corner though, don't they?
They only have JPP, not JPP.
They need offensive line bad, bro. They need offensive line.
Well, so the first pick was JPJ. That's what I was thinking. That was their first pick in this draft. Somebody put it there, and I know J-Rock has said center.
What about tackle? Because they need a tackle too. Roger Rosengarten.
Get the fuck out of here.
You said hell no.
No.
All right.
You don't want to put it there?
We're not going to hook the Steelers up. Let's go with a wide receiver. Let's go with Kamari Lassiter. Go ahead.
Yeah, your best player available. Fantasy draft rules.
Go ahead.
All right.
That's cute.
All right. Oh, no. I was going to take that trade.
You want to trade?
Let's see what other offers is. Nah, I'm good on that. Yeah, I pick up a third next year too.
Mm-hmm.
And I only got moved back like what? 12
12
spots?
spot.
I know I'm going to get fucked over. I know I'm going to get fucked over. I know I'm going to take this trade and end up, but I'm still going to take it off principle because that's Arizona's 3rd round pick.
Yeah. There's so take it.
Yeah, just take it. Take it. Yeah, Michael Hall. Max Melton. Okay, I'm good. I'm Ricky Pearsall. Ooh, Rook's still there.
I'm gonna go with Polk.
He's good.
I like him.
All right, Roger. No, I'm taking Roger. I moved back enough. I already pick up.
Who you taking? Sorry.
Tackle.
Tackle.
You gonna tackle? You gonna Rosa
I almost gave to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you didn't want him to steal us.
Absolutely not. No. Malachi Corley. Rook finally went.
He's actually pretty good because he was the actual blind side, even though he's a right tackle. He was the blind side tackle.
Dominated the Super
83. You really think y'all took a Super Bowl from me? Reject the hell out of that. No.
You an extra pick.
The Rams?
Prince Jenkins, the D tackle.
Chris Jenkins from Michigan. Hold on. Braylon Allen. Let me see running backs. Braylon Allen. All right. Let me see D tackles.
Hey, man, this running back class kind of stinks.
Yeah, it does. And when does it say my next pick is?
No. Well, I can't. No. You have 97.
97?
What I got?
We're gonna take the gamble, man. We're gonna take the gamble, man. Let me see running back again. Give me Braylon Allen, man. Give me Braylon Allen.
Okay, you were asking how many picks you guys have.
We have Pittsburgh right now.
You have 85. That's it.
All right, and I got Arizona's 3rd round next
year. Yep.
Okay, for 2nd round.
For the Steelers, they need a receiver. Did we?
Oh yeah, give them Tez Walker. That's exactly the type of receiver they get. Real skilled route runner, can't really go through contact, can't really catch that well.
Walker.
Yeah, it's basically Deontay Johnson.
Okay.
No, I'm a pick here. So reject.
Okay.
All right. Jalen McMillan's still there. Nah. See, my guy from Florida State. Huh? Who?
Your boy, I heard Brown sort of talking about him. Number 88 there.
Jeremiah Trotter. Let me tell you something, dog. We don't give a fuck who play linebacker. Okay, as long as JOK suiting up, don't nobody care. You know who play linebacker? Look, when Myles Garrett takes up 4 offensive lineman position, dog, it's a lot of people that can play linebacker behind him.
That is true.
This is why he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, got Sione Taki a bag. All right. Roquan Smith could look like a playmaker behind Miles. All right. Let's go ahead and look at some defensive guys. Yeah, the jokes is over now, Sonny.
Yeah.
The fun is over.
Yeah, fun is over. No more laughing.
Javon Bullard. Let's go back to offensive side because I'm definitely not taking no kicker.
Okay.
Let me find. Let's look at the guards. Let's go fat guys. We're gonna go double fat. Mason McCormick. It might be too early for McCormick, but I think he's gonna be a starter. Let's see. Tight end. Is Benson not still there?
Nah, he went earlier.
Kate Stover.
That's your boy. Keep it at home.
I'm not an Ohio State fan. Let's see. Wide receiver. Oh, Jermaine Burton. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Jermaine Burton. Sorry about that, David Bell. You'll end up on the Ravens.
In here, for me, we need to look who's going to be the corner next year. So I'm going to go with DJ James at Auburn. And then Bengals.
Sir, come on down. Mackenzie Jackson, come on to the natty, my boy. Yes, sir.
Is he shorter?
He's a nose tackle.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't go with Karen there, get another tackle.
The Steelers have one more pick.
They might go Kieran if he's still on the board, to be honest. He's a tackle.
We got to get a nose tackle, dog. We don't have
but didn't we get for the Steelers?
No, they got a center.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need a tackle.
They need a tackle. Yeah, get him. Yeah. What did Q just say? Just get him.
Yeah.
Honestly, we put together a nice draft for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So for the Ravens, mock 3.0 for the AFC North talk, Tyler Guyton, Jalen Polk, DJ James. The Bengals here have Mims, Leggett, Braylon Allen, and McKinley Jackson.
The AFC North talk tradition of the Bengals, of somebody drafting somebody I like in this division.
And then Cleveland here traded back, got a third next year.
Not good, because the tradition is usually when we draft players, we each like somebody else end up with them.
That is true. That is true.
Thank you, Sonny, forever for T. Higgins. That mock that you did with T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Or remember when I was like, "Hey man, just about a bouquet. That would be fun."
Yeah,
sound like a Raven.
Yeah, you said that, and we picked them in the third round.
Didn't Tony draft JOK or somebody?
He did. I think we
loved JOK
in the second round.
Tony loved JOK.
No, we actually
were having him
left first. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, look,
so here's the
none of us love Kenny Pickett.
No way. Not even Tony. Roger Rosengarten, and then Jermaine Burton.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Steelers, for all you Steelers fans, JPJ, Kamir Lassiter, Devontae Walker. That's probably going to be the worst pick, the Walker one. And
he's gonna be, as long as if you coach him right, because the issue with him is he can't. If you get a hand on him, like I would just put him nonstop on reps with JPJ, because that's somebody who's gonna press no matter what. So if you just get him used to that and he gains some weight, he could be good. He has really good speed, good route runner, good explosiveness. He just needs to put some polish on his game. Kind of similar to how Deontay Johnson was coming out of Central Michigan.
Wait, wasn't Deontay Johnson Toledo too?
Was he Toledo or Central Michigan?
I thought it was Toledo.
You from
Toledo getting some players over there.
I remember people were like, it's just like Antonio Brown.
We have a super chat here. Grit Flow says, remember when Q hyped up Perion Winfrey?
Hey man, he would have been good if he wasn't wasn't a dumbass, but
he ruined his career.
Tools were there. Look, he's still in the league.
Is he?
He's still in the league, and he has a pending kidnapping case on it. I'm not the only one who thought Perion Winfrey would be good at football. Yeah, he on the Jets.
And he has what?
A kidnapping case. Yes.
Damn.
With video evidence on him, by the way. Like,
oh God.
Yeah. That's why he not on the Browns, because that's what happened.
You saying with the evidence?
Yes, they got video. It's a video of it on Twitter somewhere. You can find it.
Damn, man.
Yeah. The tools were there though.
Well, he was the one that went to the Senior Bowl. He was eating people alive in the Senior Bowl.
He was the MVP of the Senior Bowl.
Was he?
Defensive tackle.
Yeah. I remember him eating people alive.
You were right. He was at Toledo.
Toledo, right? Yeah.
Well, Deontay Johnson was at Toledo.
Yeah. Perion was an Oklahoma guy, I think.
It's okay. It's not like the Browns suffered because Perion did it. It just signed.
It was a fourth. It was a fourth round pick too, right? It wasn't like you guys.
They're doing pretty well at the defensive line spot now. So it's
you guys went from it's Miles Garrett and some boys to Okay, we have players now.
Because Jim Schwartz saw the crime that was being committed there. He's like, you have a generational defensive player and you have him around nobody. You got him around a disinterested Jadeveon Clowney is the best dude you got near him. Like, yeah, it had to change.
I wonder what really happened with Clowney. Clowney played well here. Let's see now him in Carolina.
Somebody finally offered him that second year. That's what happened. He found he been looking for that second year for how long, Sonny?
Yeah.
Because he's been for a while. Since he left Houston. He's been on them 1 year deals. And Carolina was like, hey man, we need to sell some tickets.
So but I wonder if he gonna play good.
No, he's gonna be checked out by week 3. We know it. Jadeveon Clowney is all time can't be on a bad team guy. Like
because for the Ravens, he was really good. Really good.
Well, the Ravens were really good. If the team is good, he gonna be good. But once the team starts stinking, Jadeveon not there trying to change the culture. He like, all right, I guess we suck. Looks like I'm playing 6. Whatever I gotta get to get this contract to roll over the next year, get the bonuses. He gonna play that amount of games, but he gonna pop up with the injuries. He ain't gonna be hurt, but he not gonna play with no sore toe. Like
he didn't miss a game for us.
Yeah, he was balling. When Cleveland was good when he first got there, he played every game and he had 9 sacks. Right when Baltimore was good, he was Mr. Locker Room.
Yeah.
Right,
people love him.
But when Cleveland went bad in 2022, who started complaining about going inside out? When it went bad in Cleveland, who started complaining about playing next to Myles Garrett? Jadeveon, like we know what it is, man. He definitely the dude you don't want on a bad team. So I don't know what Carolina was thinking making that decision, but I know what they were thinking.
They replaced Burns.
Get him back in Carolina, put him back in number 7, and these fans gonna get excited and forget that we got a toothpick that we spent the number 1 overall pick on, and Bryce Young out here. Also, by the way, we traded the opportunity to get Caleb Williams. Yeah, my bad. Hey, well, we brought back Jadeveon in number 7. Like that, we know what it is.
That's crazy. That last year they could have had their first round pick and whatever, suck the same way that they sucked this year, and now had Caleb Williams.
They could have just drafted Anthony Richardson. They stunk the year before. They had like a top 5 pick.
I thought they had like the 7th pick.
They could have traded up less, got Anthony Richardson. Hell, they could have had the same level of quarterback play and drafted DTR at 13 or wherever the hell they were. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
People talk about all these trades that are
Young
bad.
Look not good.
Trey Lance level, bad draft trade.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm. Man. Trey Lance barely touched the field. I'm still shocked that Dallas said, let's trade a 3rd for Lance.
Here's the thing that don't make sense about the Trey Lance pick. Kyle Shanahan knew he don't. Like, you did all of that to get a quarterback you know your coach don't like.
But
because the second he got a whiff of that Brock Purdy, he was like,
Because remember the rumors? The rumor was that because they traded up right way before the draft, and the rumor was they were between him and Mac Jones, right? Mac Jones at least has had some level of success, and I think Mac Jones in San Francisco will be. He might have been like
Mac Jones' lack of success or in the last couple of years has erased any success he might have had his rookie year.
True. But the question was it, because remember, he had D coordinators calling plays for him, and it got toxic there too.
By the way, shout out to, was that Matt Patricia?
Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia calling plays.
All-time bag stealer. Everywhere he's gone. Not good, right? Hey, remember when he was in Detroit? Hey, then he goes back to New England. Horrible. And then, hey, who got fired from Philadelphia in like 6 months? Matt Patricia.
Yeah, because Matt Patricia was the consulting, and then they made him call the plays, but not the D coordinator, but call the play.
Anytime they talk about he could have been a rocket scientist, you getting scammed. Because they said the same shit with Josh Dobbs too. You getting scammed, man. If they were rocket scientists, they be rocket scientists. All right, that man majored in something that you could be. Like, think about how ridiculous that is when we do that. He majored in aerospace engineering. We don't even know if he was good at it. Right? He might have been a C
Did
student.
he graduated?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't. I would assume so, right? But because he majored in it, we give him the credit of being a rocket scientist.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
what?
You're right.
What? What in the world? Why?
Like Andrew Luck graduated, and then he retired early, and he's practicing. What's the architecture, engineering, whatever the hell.
Sonny, that would be like if people were like, "Yeah, man, he's just like Denzel because I did some plays in college."
Yeah.
What? You know how good you got to be to get to the rocket scientist part of the engineering field?
It is hard.
Like,
a little hard.
There is like engineering, bridges, computer engineering, then fucking like rockets, right? Like,
yes, I agree.
Yeah, it's not easy to do that, and I don't think that if he wouldn't be coaching football if that man was able to figure out the mathematical equations around rockets. Like, we out here treating him like he Oppenheimer.
Elite Dragon here says thoughts on the Ravens offseason. My opinion is bad. Look, my opinion with the Ravens offseason is I think they upgraded on the running back side, and I was happy that they didn't break the bank necessarily, right? It wasn't like they paid nothing for King Henry, but they didn't win and spend 10 plus, right? I like that they kept Maravike. I like Maravike. My question with Maravike is he worth 20 plus? That I'm not sure. Was it all scheme that helped him? The good thing is you saw Maravike trading up every year, getting better. It wasn't like he had nothing and then he just had a step, right? He traded up and then his step was a little higher than the constant going up. The reality is after that, they haven't done anything. They have some needs. I am less worried about the O-line, even though I love O-lines, because I think they have prepared for the guards to leave. My question here is tackle position. That's why I think that first round pick is going to be a tackle. They signed a tackle from Houston, but it wasn't a guy that was really a starter. I really think that our first pick is going to be a tackle. Like, if we go receiver, I'll be kind of shocked. Not necessarily unhappy, but I'll be kind of shocked. Maybe they find value in the second round pick on a tackle. But yeah, I think those are the main two holes that the Ravens have.
Hey,
what
Sonny,
are you going to do with your tackle? Am I ready?
Yeah.
For what?
Trying out to play wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens.
I need to get loose.
They're
gonna draft a receiver too. They're gonna draft a receiver.
I'm surprised Sonny is so calm with the trenches, because we all know Sonny, big trench guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Sonny, you might want to start kicks. You might want to start kick sliding.
But the reason why I'm optimistic with the trenches is I actually am worried about Stanley, right? But the guard situation, we have Voorhees that he's already ready to start practicing, right? We have Ben Cleveland, and that's when Powers took a step up and became a starter, and then he left and got paid, right? So Cleveland, after being here for 3 years, ready to compete for the starting job. We have a guy named Sala we drafted last year, and we have Makari, which is our utility guy, but he used to be a guard. Right, but we use him as a left tackle when Stanley cannot play. So those are said. They obviously have limited the run on center, and then the right tackle is the biggest hole right now. Now, if you tell me in the draft, the first round we didn't take a right tackle, second round happens and we don't take a tackle, then Sonny's going to be very ready, because a third round pick on a tackle, it might pay off. I know the Browns just pulled it off a fourth round, right? Your boy was a fourth round rookie, right, Q?
What?
You're the guy that you guys drafted last year at Was it Ohio? The tackle?
Oh, you talking about Juwan Jones?
Yeah.
Great.
Was he a 4th round?
Yes, that was.
Yeah.
Can't believe y'all let that one happen. Appreciate that.
So usually that doesn't happen.
Hey,
right?
ain't still mad about that. Like it's one thing too for DeJuan Jones just to be there. The Bengals not to take him. I know you was sick when you like. So the Browns took him.
Like, what are y'all
They
doing?
don't even need a tackle.
Just watch the tape, dog. Just watch the tape. Watch the tape. That's all you.
And what makes it even better is I think like weeks before that happened, Ace came on here talking about how the Browns have rich people complaints at offensive line, and we were like, "We'll add another bedroom."
So yeah, that's
even the best offensive line in the league was like, DeJuan Jones there? Oh yeah, let me go ahead. Yeah,
we're like, don't know where we're going to play him. Now we're like, oh yeah, we're going to play DeJuan Jones or we're going to play Jack Conklin. One of them might have to ride the pine.
Wait, I thought Conklin got cut.
Nah, he's still on the team. He can't get cut. He got guarantees in his contract. Next year, Conklin will be available, or he might retire.
Okay, I see. So it's a competition between the two for the right tackle position.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not a competition. DeJuan Jones is going to be the right tackle with this team.
Oh, so Conklin will be right in the bench.
Yeah, Conklin's going to be the best swing tackle in the league. Which, hey, for somebody who gets injured as much as he does, might make a ton of sense.
I wonder if they
maybe they think they're going to kick DeJuan to the left side. I highly doubt that. Like, I think even if they do kick DeJuan to the left side, Jed comes back to the right side. And that's how they roll with it. And Jack, like, I think Jack's going to be the swing man. That's going to be what it is. Just an extra piece to have there. But, I mean, it's a pretty damn good backup to have, especially when your starter is DeJuan Jones.
Yeah. Well, that's what I need for my right tackle. That's somebody I don't have to worry about. And I know Ace is in the same boat. I know you guys sign
we're hoarding them. We're gonna draft another right tackle too. We're gonna take Roger Rosengarten.
Yes, none of us can pick it.
We were like, man, I don't know if we could play all these tackles.
That plane is gonna be heavy, Q.
Mm-hmm. Just like I like it. All right, you know, Deshaun Watson ain't getting no younger. We need to keep him upright, dog. Like, you know, build the wall.
Build the wall. Hey, this tackle can play, guy. Just throw it there.
Yeah, hey, you know when the Browns be talking shit about how much depth they be having that offensive line is like when they bring somebody who can start on somebody else's team, and they're like, nah, that's just tackle eligible. like that is the version. Like I think the Browns do it to the Bengals like all the time, where we bring tackle eligible out on the goal line, and we're like, this is just overkill. Nick Chubb's running the ball. Like, why are we putting a tackle in motion? But yeah, we do that too.
Just to show off. Just to
like only on the Bengals too. They'll never break that shit out when we supposed to when against the Ravens and the Steelers. We're like, nah, let's show the Bengals what we got.
It's like instead of flexing skill players, they're gonna flex some linemen. Like, oh yeah, we got this other lineman.
Yeah, I appreciate good linemen.
Oh yeah, watch the special package.
We're gonna hand it off to the lineman.
Like, we gonna throw the Jack Conklin a touchdown.
Hey, you have enough. You have enough.
Whitworth sitting there too. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the Browns' offensive line in a couple years.
Anyway, so we'll be back here. We'll do a couple. So we have 2 weeks before draft week, right? Or 3 weeks?
Yeah,
3 weeks. 3 weeks before draft week. I think we have 2 weeks of us with mock draft. So we'll be back with another mock draft next week. And then on draft day, that's gonna be a fun one. You know the memes now for the Bengals is memes.
Hey, by the way,
Sonny, I'm not sure yet.
I think that's the meme for me. I think there's Bengals fans that like memes. I personally, that's going to be a meme for me.
Memes is a good idea, right? That's the thing with memes. If he's healthy, he's good.
I did a cut the tape on memes. And yeah, I could. Yeah, nah.
Hey,
he's just a little fragile. That's
the problem.
Remember, it was still a fans that thought Kenny Pickett was the right pick at 22 or whatever it is that they took him. Remember that? It was Steeler fans like, why are you laughing? What is funny? There's nothing funny about taking Kenny Pickett. And I had to sit there, and I thought I was going to have to wait 3 years, but I only had to wait 2. So now we get that money back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so we'll be back next week. See y'all. Peace out.